2024. All meeting attendees must sign in on the designated sign-in sheet at the podium here to your left. Please mute or turn off any electronic devices so as to not disrupt the meeting. And any individual wishing to address the board must do so from the podium here to your right. Do we have a motion for the approval of the minutes for April 18th, 2024?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve from Dan Mayfield. Is there a second? Second from Reginald. Christie? Yes. Ron?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
Chair approves. All approved. We'll move on to the swearing in of witnesses.
Anyone that's been speaking today needs to stand and swear at this time, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. So we'll start with the temporary beer permit applications.
We have 4 individual applications for the same event, different dates, representing Riverfront Nights Free Summer Music Series. Mickey McCamish is making an application on behalf of Friends of the Festival, Inc. for a temporary beer permit. Mr. McCamish has had a beer permit for such an event in the past. The applications are for May, June, July, and August.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
I missed something here. Did you say July? Okay, there we are. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we consolidate and hear all these at one time.
On all 4.
All 4 of them, yes, ma'am.
We have a motion from Dan Mayfield to consolidate the 4 permits into one hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Reginald. Christie?
Yes. Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so approved. We'll proceed. Hello, good morning.
Each one has met all requirements, so.
Thank
good to
you.
go.
Thank you. Good morning, Mickey, how are you?
Fine, good morning, Monica. How are you all this morning?
Doing well, thank you. Hello, Samantha. Hello. Tell us about Riverfront Nights.
We're ready to go. Obviously, Riverbend is on a hiatus this year. So instead of having a Riverbend, we're expanding Riverfront Nights. It seems to be a type of event that the city wants. They came out and supported us. The citizens have. So what we're doing is expanding. So it'll be a Memorial Day to Labor Day, basically, each Saturday, except for June the 22nd, which is the Saturday of the Chattanooga Triathlon.
Got it.
So we'll be doing that. 3 of the dates will be from 4 to 10. The rest of the dates will be from 6 to 10 in the evening.
Okay. Questions from the board?
Is this a open event or just a pan event, or what is this here with is it like the Nightfall or?
Yes, sir, it is music. Yes, sir, it's music. We do have activities. It is pet friendly. It is extended activities for the families. There are some games there like cornhole, like tabletop, but we will be having some expanded activities that Samantha has arranged with Reflection Writing, for example, and several other agencies within our community. So there is expanded children's activities.
It's a free event. It is not ticketed.
And it's free. There's no charge to it. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or motions from the board?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Ron Smith. Is there a second? Second. Okay, Christie? Thank you. Brock?
Yes.
Ron? Dan?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Chair approves. So approved. Have a great season.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to beer applications passed from the last meeting.
Next application, representing Miss P's Jamaican Restaurant. Rochelle Daly is making an application to engage in the sale of consumer carryout beer at 6940 Lee Highway, Unit 104H. Ms. Daly has not had a beer permit for this location in the past. The location is owned by Park Properties and is Zone C2.
They have met all requirements, but I believe this young lady needs to be sworn.
Raise your right hand, please, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you Rochelle?
Yes.
All right, nice to meet you. Tell us about Miss P's Jamaican Restaurant.
It's family owned. What else?
What's your capacity? How many people can you serve?
I think.
I think there's someone, Madam Chair, there's someone.
69.
Yes, are you with her? Come on over. We'll make sure you're sworn in as well. Come on over.
Cause she was stuck.
Raise your right hand, please, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
What is your name?
I'm Paula Daly.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, Miss Daly.
Good morning.
Hi. Can you tell us about Miss P's restaurant and what you plan to do there?
Well, it's like she said, a family-owned business. We make Jamaican food, and you can dine in or carry out.
Okay.
So, and I think we can seat around 12 or 13 people.
Okay. All right. And so I'm assuming you're here today because you plan on serving Red Stripe?
Yes. And Heineken.
Okay. And then how will you check IDs?
We're planning on putting a sign there and just asking for their ID when they
Okay.
come in. We don't have the machine to scan it yet.
Okay. All right. Do you plan to get that machine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. Questions from the board?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve the application.
I second,
We have a motion to approve from,
yes. I
okay.
think I heard it. I was trying to retract that too, yeah.
Okay, so have you done any beer training for
Right.
your servers?
No.
Okay, we want to introduce you to Miss Calandra Smith over here in the audience, who handles the training right here. She's waving right here in the denim.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and so if you'll get connected with her, she'll go through the beer training with you, so they make sure that all of your servers have the proper training, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, so we have, the motion still stand from Mr. Mayfield?
Yeah.
With an approval, a second from J.W. Cole?
Yes.
Correct?
That's correct.
All right, Christie? Ron?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
J.W.?
Yes.
Chair also votes yes, so approved. Can't wait to come try it out.
All right, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for doing
Thank you.
business in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going now.
Thank you.
Next applicant representing SGVM Holdings LLC, doing business as Blackstone Grill. Gregory Bankston and Stephen Flynn are making applications to engage in the sale of consumer beer at 3018 Cummins Highway. The two have not had a beer permit for this location in the past, but Stephen Flynn has a consumer beer permit for Steverino's Italian Eatery and Pub located at 325 Cherokee Boulevard. The location is owned by Lentz Reynolds and is zoned C2.
So it looks like there were still some, maybe some building issues and maybe legal. Zach, are you able to speak to anything on the building at all by chance?
Stand by. The electrical's passed.
Do you have a comment? Did you have a comment that you want to make?
I don't mind. I have a question.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
for this one.
I thought he had a question.
Waiting. I didn't know if it was for previous or for this one.
Yes, sir. Is this a change of ownership?
It's not a change of ownership. I bought Fireside Grill as an asset sale. And basically have cleaned it up and
Yeah.
making a whole different kind of concept. It's gonna be more of a restaurant with the bar. I'm calling it Blackstone Grill, obviously, to be a tavern, but,
Blackstone's Grill hadn't been operating under Blackstone Grill lately?
no.
You haven't?
No, sir.
Okay.
I have not.
What is your name? I'm sorry.
Steve Flynn?
Steve Lynn, okay.
No, we haven't, and I'm not opening today, but
So it was Fireside previously?
It was Fireside, and I bought it last summer. And it got to be more cleaning up than I anticipated, but I've got some staff put together. I've got a concept in place. It's going to be more of a restaurant with some nice steaks and pork chop and a couple pastas, seafood salads, sandwiches. It's not going to be a late night place. It's going to be something that Valley hasn't seen.
Say, that should be good for Lookout Valley.
I'm excited about it. My wife's going to be in there with me. She worked with me at Steve Areno's, and I'm pulling her out of Steve Areno's and putting her in there as well. So.
And the quality of the buffets, the Sunday brunch is not gonna drop its.
No, no. I've been working my butt off to get that brunch going good. So, but we're close. The building looks good inside. I've had to, take out the mushy carpet and paint it and took the tin off the windows. So I think I'll make Chattanooga proud with what I've done with it.
Great, thank you. Are y'all ready to tell us about zoning?
That's correct.
All right.
Hi.
Excuse me.
Gonna go to Peggy.
Okay, no worries. Hi, good morning. My name is Zachary Wiley. I'm with the zoning division. We work in the LDO hand in hand with building inspection. Brian Malone did the inspection on this one. This was failed, and his notes from April the 16th at 9:27 a.m. were need electrical, plumbing, and building permit, new hand sink, new electrical lighting, outlets, Romex above ceiling, electrical hanging out of ceiling in kitchen, add emergency exit sign in rear hall, suite number and logo on front and rear doors. And that looks like that note was per the fire marshal.
Okay.
And that's what we have on the building, so it hasn't passed yet.
Okay. So, and then does legal also have comments for the owner?
Hold on 1 second. There's a due date of April 1st, 2024 on the Secretary of State's website. And I was wondering if you could provide some clarification on that, on whether or not it's the AR due date. Has that been satisfied yet, or what's going on with that?
She's asking regarding the Secretary of State's website. You might want to repeat that, because I don't think you heard.
I couldn't hear, I'm sorry.
It should be. It's green.
Okay. Make sure the volume's up.
Okay, so on the Secretary of State's website, for SGVM Holdings LLC, the AR due date is April 1st, 2024. And I was wondering if that had been resolved yet, or what's going on with that?
I'm not sure if it's something I need to renew, because I started all this last year.
Yeah, I see the initial filing date on August 8th, 2023. I just had a question about the AR due date.
Everything should be up to date.
Okay. What? That's the due date on, yeah.
Yeah.
And the stuff that he had on his list, everything has been accomplished. The electrical's passed. The logos are on the doors, the suite's on the doors. The exit light that he wanted up is up.
Has that been inspected again? Because it doesn't, according to the system, it hasn't been inspected again.
Okay, because I've got a tag that says the electrical's passed, but
Okay, so you may either want to call Inspector Malone,
I have.
or call him again and go into the portal and type a comment for him, and let him know that you've completed all the requested work that was requested.
Okay, I'll try that again. I waited on him, but, and I will not open until everything is signed off, but I'm just trying to take care of some formalities.
Right. Unfortunately, we cannot proceed until both of those items are checked in the portal, because those are the steps for us to actually give a permit. So you have to be signed off on inspections and by the legal before we can proceed.
Okay.
So what we'll do is if you will get with the inspectors and then also with the Secretary of State and get those items resolved, and then you connect again with Miss Bertha here, and she'll get you back on the schedule.
Okay.
So we need to make a motion to pass this. We need a motion to pass this to the next meeting.
Make a motion that we pass Blackstone Grill to the next meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Ron Smith to pass to the next meeting and a second from Dan Mayfield. Christie? Brooke?
Yes.
Ron? Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so approved. It is passed to the May 16th meeting.
Okay, thank
So
you.
if you can try to get all of that resolved before then.
Oh, I will.
All right, thank you.
Brunch will be good this weekend. Up there.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move on to the new beer applications.
Representing Kay's Tavern, Angela Mills, and she just walked in, is making an application to engage in the sale of consumer carryout beer at 3220 Wilcox Boulevard. Ms. Mills has not had a beer permit for this location in the past, but has a beer permit for Kay's located at 4272 Bonnie Oaks Drive. The location is owned by Primum Imperium LLC of East Ridge, and I don't have a zoning for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like maybe zoning and legal were also an issue on this one as well.
Okay, we're gonna need her to be sworn in first.
The new one.
Raise your right hand.
Oh,
Please
you
raise
got this
your
one,
hand.
sorry.
Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
So Sergeant Wood, what were you saying?
Apologies. So it looks like zoning and legal was also an issue on this, and I think Zach is in the process of pulling up the notes for you guys.
All right. Do you want to speak on legal while he's pulling that up?
Well, I didn't sign off on it because zoning didn't
Okay,
sign off on
got
it.
it.
And Zachary's
Got it.
going to explain why.
Got it.
Excuse me.
So for the record, this was a C2 property. The issue is with the distance prohibition. So this property is within 400 feet of Islamic type facility, worship center that's actually right next door. Then in the same complex on down, about 5 suites, there is a daycare learning center there. I was unable to confirm if they are actively accepting children or have children there on a daily basis, but they do have active power, so they are in operation. The power is in the name of the learning center. And then diagonally, as the crow flies, they're off Moss, there is another church there that's within 400 feet as well. So there were 3 prohibited properties that did show up. The church was 353 feet according to the calculations on GIS. The daycare was 276 feet down in the same building, and then like 34 feet to the next door for the Islamic type center that's there. I apologize if that's not what it is, but it appears to be some type of worship center like that. That appears to be active as well. So that's why the zoning was denied.
Ms. Mills, do you understand what Mr. Wiley is saying?
Yes, I do understand.
Okay.
Chattanooga is growing and we building a lot of property on top of property. My hours is not condoning when they're open. I'm pretty much open when they're not open. I'm trying to do like a neighborhood. It's more like pool hall in there. Trying to deal with small orders. It's nothing like it's gonna be like a club, because I never portray as a club. It's just something for the neighborhood. And like I say, it's growing Chattanooga, so you can't help to be so much away from stuff because they building stuff right on top of each other. I mean, I'm just not gonna be open when they're open. They're not gonna be in business. They're way off down the, way off around. And looking at the neighbors, when I come at night, it's nobody on that block that's open. I would probably be still open that time, but it's nobody open, even the place right next door. That guy, he's running like a cab stand out of that place. He got more cabs sitting out there than he can have, far as running whatever he's got coming out of it. So I don't know what he's really got coming out of it, but I see a lot of cabs that he have. So at one point, it looks like it could be a cab stand there.
Okay. Mr. Wiley wants to speak. Just one moment.
So just addressing that comment, if it was not a center for worship, if it was only an office, or he was operating a dual business of maybe a church type office, worship type office, and there were no worship activities going on there, then the two closest would be 276 feet and 353 feet. So she would qualify for carryout, but she's still, even under the new, she's still 25 feet short, approximately, under the new 300 foot.
Right.
And over 200 feet short for the current 500. But she would qualify for carryout, if that center next door that she speaks of, that is operating also as a cab business, didn't have any worship activities going on there. So just some FYI for the board.
Is there any way we can get, proof or documentation, perhaps from the owner of that worship center, that no worship activities is actually happening there?
I could try.
It's an actual business.
I mean, I could try even with photos or just talking to him and just trying to see, but I mean, every day I go up there, it's 4 or 5 cabs there, people, cars there, they driving off because they're using the cab. So that's what makes me feel like it's just not going on as a worship center. I can drive past there at night because I'm checking on what I got going on, and he's sitting out there in one seat, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just driving through. So I don't know what's really going on, if it's really legally to be there. But, even with carryout license at this time can be good for me. I just want to open up because this is my livelihood, and this is my life. I don't have nothing else.
Madam Chairman, I ask a question?
Sure.
Miss Angela, you said it's a tavern, right?
Yes.
Is that tell me more, is that a convenience store, or I know you said it's not a club, but when you say tavern, what is that?
It's more like, I got a pool table that, I got regulars that just come in for pool table, short orders, just to hang out. There may be a couple of guys just play dominoes, watch my TVs. I got 7 TVs that I've installed that's just for gaming, to watch the sports. So it's nothing like it's turning up and it's gonna party. I have older clients, I have working people. My people work at West Rock. They work for big companies that they're not able to get caught up in the small stuff. But when your doors is open, sometime you're gonna get 1 or 2 that you may not want, but sometime it just depends on how you change the atmosphere to get them out. So it's really like a hangout for my working people, because I do have regulars that follow me and have always followed me. And I've been doing this ever since 2016. So I never really had an issue nowhere that I go. It may be a business next to me or around me that got the issues, but I've always had my business under control.
So a follow-up question to that, is this a BYOB? Okay, that's gonna be 1. Number 2, what is your hours?
It was gonna be 6 to 3. And when I said 3, because I wanna have enough time, if a day that it's gonna run over, I wanna have that 3 to set, that's when everybody gone. Like if it's 2 and everybody out, cause nobody's not drinking after 2, really. But I just wanna have that enough time to get my lot cleared off and go. But I'm not even necessarily coming in this way for that. This time, I just want to if I got to shut at 12, I'll shut at 12, close down at 1 or whatever. I just want to, just be able to operate, but it's not going to be nothing loud, rowdy. It's just going to be TVs mainly in the daytime. So by maybe 10, I might turn some music on or whatever, but it's not that type of party.
So when you say daytime, what is that?
It's at 6. When I open up at 6,
that's daytime.
I don't really have people coming there at 6. I be there at 6 to prep it up.
Right.
But the people might not show up to about 8 o'clock when they all off work and relax. And they might stay at about 12. But sometimes you might have a special event. You want to run it. I want to give myself that time to run out, be ready to get out of there.
Are your operating hours 6 to 3, or are you, because that's different than when you're coming in and prepping?
Yeah, at 6, I'm coming in prepping.
Okay, so
I don't have nobody.
open doors hours?
The open doors hour will be normally about 8 o'clock.
Okay,
That's when I get people to come through.
okay.
But they can't come in at 6.
But they just mostly like sit down, people just don't drink. But I never got people to come in at 6. I'm just waiting there like an hour, 2 hours before they get there.
Okay, Mr. Mayfield, you have a question?
How long have you been in this location right now?
The one that I'm in now, that I'm trying to move to,
Right.
I haven't, I just got the building.
Okay.
Trying to move in it.
Okay. See, we've still got 2 other churches that we're dealing with on this footage thing. Is the solution to this to ask for a variance on the zoning?
That's not, I don't think it's possible with the way the code is written.
Okay, I
Even
wasn't
with the
sure.
new- Even with the new, changes that are going to be in effect in June.
Correct.
I think some of those changes, lessening the distance, will be beneficial, will help, but it won't alleviate everything. Like Zach said, I think carryout would be okay, but not consumer.
Well, and we need to clarify, because when Mr. Cole asked if it's BYOB, then that's a brown bag.
That's a whole nother-
So
Right.
so we need to
That's
clarify
another
which
Right.
ones we're going for as
Right.
well.
Right.
Mr. Wiley?
So just to clarify, brown bag is still consumer,
Yeah?
on premise, right? So if there were no children at the Learning Center, and if there was no worship activities, then the closest church would be the one, getting old, put my glasses back on. Closest church would be the one that you enter off of Moss, which is 353. So under the new statute, or the new code, where they dropped from 500 to 300, then she would qualify at that point. But she would need to show proof that there are no children in the facility here at the daycare, and that there was no worship activities going on next door at that facility either.
Okay.
Now, understand, Madam Chair, that does lock in that church or mosque to not have afternoon or evening service, if we do that. They may say it at that time, but when you talk about a church,
You never know.
you never know what's gonna take place.
Ms. Mills, please come to the podium.
I'm closed on Wednesdays. I'm closed on Fridays. I never ever open on Wednesdays or Fridays. I always been, since been in business. Wednesdays I close and Fridays I close. Because I'm not a club, so I'm not trying to compete with the club. So I never open on Fridays or Wednesdays.
And just as a clarifying point, the distance will be lowered from 500 to 300, so that, church falls outside of that thing. So it doesn't matter what the church does.
Okay.
She'll still be within the buffer zone.
Right.
So,
And and it's the zoning of the property.
right.
Is it C, what was it, C2?
Is it C2, is that correct, Zach? Yeah, C2.
All right. No, I mean, I would recommend that we pass this, until she can provide, proof of, what's going on at the daycare center and what's going on at the Muslim Islamic
At the place of,
Center
at the place of worship.
next door, yes.
Yes, at the place of worship.
Yes.
So, and that's gonna be documentation that's gonna have to come from those business owners.
Right.
Right? So the recommendation is to pass this into the next meeting, which is May 16th, so that you can provide proof of operations of these businesses and the hours, and that would need to come from those business owners. Like what hours their children at the daycare, if it is indeed a place of worship, and when they're operating. Does that make sense? And that's all due to the type of zoning that the building you're in is zoned, and what will be allowed. And Mr. Wiley?
So I just bring to the board that even if she does bring that on May 16th, that new ordinance doesn't go into effect until June 10th. So for consumer, that church still falls within that until the first meeting after June 10th.
After June 10th.
So it
So
may be
maybe
more,
pass it.
it may be prudent to pass it till after that. So if she can get that and come back, then she's clear all the way around, instead of then still only being clear for carryout.
Yeah.
So just an FYI.
That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, Ms. Mills?
Now, if I would talk to them, what if they refuse to talk to me and work with me on trying to get the hours? Because when I first came up there and we was trying to get the water issue together, the lady kind of came off kind of mean to me, and I was like, I don't want no problems, I just want to open up. So what if I go talk to them about their hours, how they feel about it, and get it on paper, and they refuse to talk to me in any type of way? What could happen behind that?
I was just gonna say, that's something that either myself or Mr. Wiley could go and investigate and go from there, so
Yeah,
that's not gonna be an
that's what
issue.
needs to happen, so that there's no issues between you and these other owners. So yes, we'll have Sergeant Wood and Mr. Wiley, investigate that with you, okay? And so stay in communications with these two gentlemen, and they'll assist you. And so, is there a, motion or recommendation from the board to pass this to June 20th?
Yeah. I'll make a motion, we pass it to June 20th.
I second.
All right, we have a motion from Dan Mayfield to pass till June 20th, and a second from J.W. Cole. Christie? Yes. Brooke?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so approved to pass to June 20th. And so, Ms. Mills, please continue to work with these two gentlemen, and they'll help you to get down to learn all the details and to see what we can do, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good luck.
Madam Chair, before she leaves, should she speak with somebody about the BYOB as well? Should she go through Bertha?
Yes, she can talk to Ms.
Yeah, you
Bertho
need- 'cause you're gonna be
and Sergeant
BYOB,
Wood
you
about
wanna be
that.
covered.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
If you'll wait for about 10 minutes, I'm gonna come talk to you.
Okay.
thank you, Ms. Mills. All right, next.
Next applicant representing Nick and Norman's Chattanooga LLC, doing business as Nick and Norman's Chattanooga. Nick and Norman's Inc. is making application to engage in the sale of consumer beer for an expansion that will include the Choo Choo Garden and the Dome at 1386 Market Street. They have a consumer carryout beer at their location. I'm sorry. The location is owned by NP Choo Choo LLC and is zoned UIX.
Got ahead of myself, my apologies. They have met all requirements.
All right, thank you. Good morning.
Thank you, good morning.
So to understand this is just an expansion of your current permit to the Dome and the Gardens, correct?
That's correct.
All right.
David Valentine.
David Valentine.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any questions from the board?
I was just gonna say, was this what one of the other applicants did a couple of weeks ago where they were?
Yep.
That is correct. Frothy Monkey and 50/50.
David, is this an increase in staff?
It will be, if we're increasing the footprint. And this will just be an event-driven situation.
I got you.
Not on a daily basis.
Okay, but having it then. All right, very good. All right.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve from J.W. Cole. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ron Smith. Christie? Yes. Brooke?
Yes.
Ron? Yes. Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
J.W.?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so approved. Thank you for
Thank you
doing
very much.
business in Chattanooga.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving on to, we have no record violations, no record applications, no bureau violations. We're at discussion. Is there anything of the board to discuss at the moment?
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Vice Chair did a nice job last meeting.
Okay. I thought so as well. Oh, you watched it? Yes, I watched it. Yes, I thought you did well. Great job, Tiffany. Thank you. Anything else from the board to discuss?
Welcome back, Ron.
Or accolades?
Yeah.
Yes, welcome back, Ron. All right, and then we'll move on to public comments. Anyone wishing to address the board may speak for 3 minutes at this podium here on your right. Please come up.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity this morning. Hey, I'm with Penske Truck Leasing.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
It's David Bagley.
David Bagley.
I'm the branch service manager with Penske at 4139 South Creek Road. What I'm here for today is towing issues. Penske actually takes our vendors and we combine the cost, the customer service. We're responsible for over 600 units locally. Been partners with the city of Chattanooga for over 25 years. They're very extensive. 40% of the transportation and logistics that comes through Chattanooga, Penske has involvements in. We also have very, very important needs for towing services here. Doug Yates is our preferred vendor, great relationship. We have issues with other vendors that pick up units that is either broke down or has issues to get them back to our location. So on average, local tows are billed to me about $400 from Doug Yates. Just a current issue that I had with another vending towing service, I was billed $2,000 for a tow from Erlanger to Shallowford Road. The unit would not be released to me until I paid cash. Penske's a huge corporation. We are involved nationwide with over 400,000 units. Wow. I've never had this issue before. I just wanted to bring it up in front of the council and let you know some of the, I'd say, overcharge for sure, and how they can end up charging me $2,000 cash in order to release my asset to provide customer service for my customers. And local vendors, local companies that we're involved with, yes, ma'am. Just to name a few, Siskin Steel, Iron Mountain, Tranco, Kingco. So we're very involved in the community. We're very involved with the city of Chattanooga and provide customer services to move logistics around the city, through the city. But yeah, if there's any way possible, I didn't know if there was a regulation. I've been told no. So basically a wrecker can hook to my units, charge me whatever fee, and take payment the way they want it in order for me to get my asset back. But yes, normally that invoice that she just took from Doug Yates would have been a $400 to $500 tow. And how they came up with a $2,000 fee, I don't have a clue. And it's just like they're wide open. So if he wanted to charge me $5,000, he could have charged me $5,000. Nothing I could do about it.
Okay. Mr. Mayfield, you have a question?
I've got a question. So these are leased vehicles that you've leased them to a customer, but y'all are servicing and managing those?
That's correct. Some customers own their own equipment, and we provide a service.
So when one needs towed, do y'all institute the call for the tow?
We do. If I'm involved in it from the beginning, say a truck's broke down on Amnicola, then yes, sir, I instigate the call.
Right.
Question. The $2,000, do you know if that was a Chattanooga tow company? I mean, what I mean is it a city of Chattanooga's, what's my word I'm trying to use here?
Are they on the rotation?
Rotation list. Are they on the Chattanooga rotation list?
So
or are they?
the invoice she just took was an Iron Mountain unit that was towed from Erlanger Hospital. From what I understand, the situation, the customer was parked there for a long time, which if anybody's familiar with Iron Mountain, they shred documentation. The hospital's pretty huge, so these guys could be in there for hours while they're doing their job and providing a service for Erlanger. I don't even know. I've talked with the security at Erlanger. They also told me Walden Security, they don't know how this wrecker service got involved in it because normally it is a Doug Yates tow. So I can't get answers on why, the Chattanooga wrecker service was involved instead of my.
So was the truck illegally parked?
No, sir. I've actually got pictures on my phone. It was backed up to the loading dock.
And they towed it out of the
And they
loading
towed it
dock?
all, yes, sir, while they were upstairs working, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
That's a theft.
And normally, if there's an issue, then we're normally notified because it is my asset that, look, we've got a problem. Can you get in touch with the customer, get the unit removed? That wasn't even an option for me. And so basically, the wrecker service was called out, they yanked the truck, and I wasn't even involved until they wanted the $2,000 cash payment. And being Penske and the corporation, we don't deal with cash. So it's really hard for me to call corporate and say, hey, can you send me $2,000 cash so I can get my customers asset back. So, yeah,
So can I ask a question? I want to make sure I understand. The truck was parked at the loading dock at the hospital,
that's correct,
and it got towed from the loading dock.
correct.
Was there a time that maybe the hospital needed the loading dock for a period of time and said, hey, we got to get this truck moved?
That's
And
possible.
nobody answered, and they's like, hey, we got to get it moved? And so since a period of time went and nobody moved the truck, and they towed the truck.
That's very possible. I don't know the stipulations or a time frame when the trucks are allowed to be at that location. So it's very possible.
So have you spoken with the hospital to say, hey, was there a dispatch that says this truck needs to be moved immediately, we need the dock? And I'm just asking because maybe the hospital called to have the truck towed?
So it's very possible. The customer, I actually communicated with the customer. They were not contacted to move it.
Okay.
So if it was announced over the hospital, which is very possible, that, unit such and such needed to be moved from the loading dock. But the drivers that were there with the truck was unaware of it, so they didn't hear the announcement.
Right.
So no phone records or anything?
No,
With
sir.
today's technology, no phone records?
Mr. Wood?
So can I just interject for a
Dr. Wood,
second?
yeah.
So I know Mr. Yates is gonna come up and speak, and I think he'll be able to answer those questions a lot better. Because he's actually reached out, I believe it was to, I don't know if he's the director of security, but either way, they have a contact at Erlanger, and they had a conversation, so I think he'll be able to better explain that.
Good. Thank you for your time.
Very well.
Let
appreciate
Shannon
hearing
come
that.
up and talk, please, for a moment. Just step aside. Yeah, that'll be fine. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning, I'm Shannon Yates with Doug Yates Towing. What happened was Erlanger called to have the truck towed because it was parked blocking the dock. They can legally do that, they report it. So the problem is, the issue is what they charged the towing company when they took it.
Okay.
Chattanooga has a private property non-consent ordinance that applies, I thought was citywide for any, to protect him, or you, if your car's towed, if you parked at a restaurant illegally or whatever, the city has an ordinance. But I'm being told that that ordinance does not apply to towers that are not on the city rotation.
Okay.
So I want some clarification on that, because as long as I've been in business, we've been in business since 1940s, but I've been in it for 30 years. And I've always thought that that ordinance applied citywide, not just to the towers that are on the city list. Because what these towers are doing, and I like clarification on that today, I could open up XYZ Towing under another name and subcontract to Doug Yates, and I could charge whatever I want based on what y'all are telling me, and there's nothing you can do to me. So that's what this towing company's doing.
Right.
Okay? So kind of want clarification on that, to protect and to make sure that we're using the right rates like we do. We abide by that. But from what I'm being told, that you can just open up another business and not put on the city list, and there's nothing that can be done.
Right.
So that's kind of my question.
No, thank you for
Thank
clarity.
you for the clarification,
Thank you.
Shannon.
Chattanooga Impound Services on the towing city rotation?
They are not.
They are not.
Chattanooga Impound Services is not on the
So,
rotation.
I'd like to elaborate a little bit on that. So Chattanooga Impound and American Towing are very much, you could say, sister companies. So American Towing, I think is owned by, or says it's owned by Mr. Black. And then Chattanooga Impound is owned by his wife or fiance. Some days it's his wife, some days it's his fiance. Your guess is as good as mine on that. But I've been told by, community members and other folks that if Chattanooga Impound is towing a vehicle, American Towing vehicles have been used to come get those vehicles.
Okay. So can you give clarification to Mr. Yates on the ordinance?
Yes, we could do that for sure.
I mean, can you do it right now? Or can you
So-
give it to all of us?
Well, basically, my understanding, and I think this is probably more of a legal question, but, my understanding has always been that if a tow company is on our ordinance, that regulation absolutely pertains to them. If they're not on that tow rotation, we don't have any authority over that. So that is the challenge for us.
That's gotta change.
What that looks like going forward, I don't know if the council would have to come up with a new ordinance specifically to address
What'll happen?
predatory towing or private property towing. But I would absolutely agree with Mr. Yates and a lot of the community members that something does need to be done about it because we're seeing complaints every day.
Yeah.
And my concern is, obviously, the citizens are being taken advantage of, and, it does make the tow industry look bad, so, there's that too. And we want to, have a good, positive working relationship with both the towing industry and, the citizens of Chattanooga.
Have you heard or received documentation of amounts like this on a daily basis, $2,000, $5,000, or $4,000, or out of range?
We have heard some astronomical numbers, particularly from Chattanooga Impound. If you remember a few weeks ago, we had the young lady.
Yeah. This isn't our first rodeo with these people.
Correct.
And can I make one more statement?
Sure.
The unit and the invoice was through Chattanooga Impound. When I went to receive the unit or pick the unit up, it was at American Tow and Lock. So I've got an invoice from one company, and I'm paying one company, but I'm going to pick the unit up at a different record location.
See, that's happened to other people also.
Correct, yes, sir.
All right, so,
That's not.
I do not.
Sergeant Wood,
Jason?
I'm sorry.
would what he just said be the basis of a violation or a particular citation for American Towing? Because if Chattanooga Impound picked it up, and he had to go pick it up at American Towing, that doesn't seem right to me.
No, I agree, but they're not on our rotation list right now.
Well, but American Towing is. Are they?
Chattanooga Impound is not.
Yeah, Chattanooga Impound is
Sorry,
not, but
I
American
got-
Towing is.
So-
Yes, I would suspect so, yes, absolutely.
Is it possible that we could potentially investigate?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
What we can do about that?
absolutely.
And also, I wanted to point out, section 35-146 is the purpose of the ordinance that governs records. And it says that the purpose of this article is to establish regulations and procedures to license district record operators,
License.
which is what the issue is here. You have to be a district record in order for this ordinance to have any authority to cite or violate. So there needs to be a change in the ordinance.
So we need to, as the current record board, we need to make a recommendation to city council.
Yes. I mean, that's something that y'all can do.
Yeah.
And it's not just private property, it's other things too. So this has been an ongoing, since I was a kid in the early 90s, having other towers come in from out of state, working wrecks on city interstates, which you have no repercussions against those guys either. And we allow that currently. That needs to stop because they could come up here and block the road for 10, 12 hours on a wreck and no one has any authority over them. And we're continuing to allow towers that aren't doing what they're supposed to be on your district list to come in and work these major wrecks outside or do private property towing, and you have no repercussions against them. So that's something that needs to be addressed when you do make a change in the ordinance. It's been a long time problem. A lot of times these guys will do a good job of trying to monitor that by, everyone has a right to have an owner's request, but as the recovery class or the big C class wrecks and stuff like that, there's certain things in the ordinance says that you have to call a district record. So that's just another concern that I would have, because if you're allowing people that aren't, you can't do anything to them, is what I'm trying to say, like you're saying today. So that'd be another concern you need
To bring up.
to bring up, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
Thanks for bringing this out.
Yes,
We
thank you for
appreciate it.
letting us know this, and we will ask Sergeant Wood and Mosier to look into this more for us so that we can talk to council, because unfortunately, we can't change the ordinance, but we can make recommendations and ask them to look into it.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your
Thank you for
time.
bringing it to our attention.
And I would also encourage you to talk to your council person as well.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, I would reach out to your council members and email them and make them aware.
Okay, we'll do it. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Recommendation.
Wow.
All right,
Well,
let's
we
see.
can talk about it. Our discussion.
Any other public comments?
Somebody else that's never heard all this.
Here we go.
Knowledge of all this.
Okay, have you been sworn in, sir?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I was here earlier.
You were here early to make sure? Okay, we just want to make sure. Okay,
Yeah,
so
my name's
please
Johnny
introduce yourself.
Alvis. I'm a local realtor, work for a company. We have the old Mayo's Bar
On Brainerd Road.
listed for sale on Brainerd Road. You know, it's been closed now for probably over 2 years, just sitting vacant, empty. You know, it's been vandalized and the building is sitting there deteriorating now. We have a investor interested in buying it and reopening it, you know, revitalizing the building, rehabbing it. It would really, you know, do the area a nice service. However, it's beyond the 6-month period for the beer license being grandfathered in. There is a church across the street, 5 lanes of traffic across Brainerd Road, that bought the building and opened a church in 2016.
Yeah.
When Mayo's was still, you know, operating as a bar tavern. But now that it's been closed for a long time, we're being told that the new owner can't get a new beer license because that from door to door, like someone said, GPS, I believe it's 275 feet from front door to front door, which is just under 300, you know, going June 10th. Kind of wondering if there's any way to, you know, apply for a leniency or variance or anything like that. It's my first time dealing with anything like this.
What is, Mr. Wiley could look up the zoning for that particular building.
Yeah, I believe it's C2. I tried to look it up when I sit here. And
What
it's
is the address?
3820 Brainerd Road.
And how far is that daycare on the left side, diagonally across in that plaza? How far is that daycare?
I'm not aware of a daycare. I only know of the church that's
Right.
sort of diagonally
It may
across
be
the
further
street.
down, but I know there's a daycare diagonally across.
I'm not
in that
sure.
little plaza.
That doesn't ring a bell for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's good.
Well,
It is C2.
It is
Okay.
C2?
That's all right.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
will
Wiley.
also say though that, unfortunately, the ordinance does not have anything in it that would allow you to apply for a variance or special permission. The distance is what it is, unfortunately.
Could he apply for a, what's the magic zone? UGC?
UGC?
Spot zoning though.
Well, but, hey, welcome to
It
Chattanooga.
is,
Okay. You know,
it could be possible. It
What's
might
that,
be-
UGC?
yeah, you could get the property rezoned to UGC.
What does that stand for?
Urban,
Urban growth.
and whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think, yeah, it's a zoning question, and it's something to talk, we can't say if they can get it rezoned or not. I mean, that's not, that is way out of our
I'm like,
purview.
everybody be doing it.
So-
Yeah, you can't say
It might be
that.
something you can.
I was even curious if, you know, because the church across the street that's within the 300, I mean, they bought and opened the church while Mayo's was still operating as a bar tavern. Obviously, they didn't have a problem with it. You know, like I said, it's across 5 lanes of traffic on Brainerd. The hours are different. I don't know how it would affect, you know, the church in any way, but,
Yeah.
is it possible to get the church to give their approval? Not at all? Okay.
No, it's how the ordinance is written,
Yeah.
and there's not, we can't change any of how the ordinance is written. Again, city council creates the ordinances and so on, so, you know, what I would suggest is you probably need to have a conversation with the LDO office and talk to them about what your options may be. Because even when the new beer ordinance goes into effect in June, you're still within the distance.
And LDO is what?
The Land Development Office, Mr.
Okay.
Wiley back here in the back in the blue shirt.
Okay.
That'd be the regional planning agency, they handle rezoning.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, regional planning, sorry.
UGC is urban, general, commercial. However, they would be the one to recommend if that type of zone was, you know, in harmony with what was around it, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So anything proposed when it comes to a different zone and that type of stuff, the RPA handles. They're
That's
at
correct, I'm
1250
sorry.
Market Street.
Okay, I know where they are.
They're also online. It's a dual Hamilton County City agency. chcrpa.org, but,
Okay,
you know, there's a lot of information on their website as well. Their phone number is 643-5900, so
okay,
they'll be able to assist you there.
all right.
I mean, and thank you for coming and talking to us. There is there are misconceptions that we can make those changes. But it all comes down to zoning on what we
Yeah.
can and can't approve, you know, and
Okay.
we have to go by the ordinance, so.
So that's basically the only way around it is to possibly get it rezoned.
I think, I
Yeah.
can't really speak on that
I
because
got
I'm
you.
not in zoning,
Good-
to be honest with you.
Good place to start, okay.
Yeah, it'd be a place to start, and I'm sorry that I said LDO because he's correct, it's RPA,
No,
but
that's okay.
that's where you would start
Okay,
with that
thanks.
question.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, any additional public comments?
We're okay? I think we're good.
That gentleman was going to speak. All right, any motions to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn this
Adjourn from
meeting.
J.W. Cole. Second, is there a second? Second, Reginald, all in favor? Approved, thank you.